I don't think the mic is on. Is the mic on? Is it on? It's very quiet. Great. Okay. I don't really want to move anything. Okay. I'm going to do this much. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Church on the Square. We're so glad you're here. My name is Amy Sens. I'm one of the pastors here at this space. This is on Sunday mornings we have worship here. This is a sacred space, and we're so glad to be able to welcome music lovers, people who care about roots music to our space and have it be a place where we can have joy and fun and the wonder of music here in the space. So thank you so much for being here, being part of that dream. Really excited to have you here. We are in the middle of a giving campaign, so if you would like to support Church on the Square, you're welcome to take a look at our website, www.churchonthesquarebaltimore.org, and click on the donate button. It's pretty simple, and we very much appreciate it. So I want to say a big thank you to Alex, who is the producer of this series, and welcome him to share a little bit more about what's going on.
All right, hey everybody, hope you're having a good night. I'm already having a great time. My name's Alex. I'm a local musician and curator of this series, as well as the Baltimore Bluegrass Jam and the Baltimore Honky Tonk, which is a classic country two-stepping night, and I'm so glad that I get to just bring music to all different parts around the city, and so glad to be here. So next month, we also, just in case you didn't know, we have, on November 11th, we have Larry and Joe Troop used to have a band called Che Appalachia, this Latin grass group where he lived in Buenos Aires for many years, originally from Durham, and now his newest project is working with Larry Belorn from Venezuela, who is a roots musician from Venezuela, well deep in that tradition, is an amazing harpist. Their music is mind-bending and is totally new, and you have to see it. So if you don't have that on your calendars, think about November 11th, and there's some flyers out there. Also have this supergroup Across the Harbor on February 10th. And then March 3rd, we have Wicked Sycamore, a local contemporary acoustic trio. They'll be doing a set of music, and local documentarian Julia Galanka will be showing her film about Hazel Dickens, who contributed to the bluegrass scene not only here in Baltimore, but in America. So we've got lots of great things coming up down the pipeline. Some housekeeping things. There are bathrooms downstairs on either side of the stairs. There's two of them. The bar is open the whole time, so go on down there if you're thirsty. And that's all the talking that I have to do. Now we're here for the part that we're really here for, is to hear music. So I would like to welcome, please make him very welcome on the stage, Phil Wiggins.
Good evening. All right. And thanks so much for coming out. Appreciate it. Let's see here. How's everyone doing? Good? All right. I'm going to start out with, I don't know, maybe one or two solo tunes. We'll see what happens. But definitely going to start out with this first one. It's a song that I made a pretty good while ago. When I don't know if anybody remembers my partner John Cephas that I played with for probably about 35 years. When we were starting out, people would interview us, and they would ask me all the time, how a young guy like myself, of course, here's what's left of me, but back then, they would say, how a young guy and a guy living in Washington D.C. got into this type of music, being, very Southern and being, kind of an old style of music. And I used to always reminisce about my spending summers with my grandmother in Titusville, Alabama. That's where my family roots are. My mother, whenever she mentioned home, that's what she was talking about, was Titusville. And so growing up, that's what that word meant to me. Whenever anyone, talked about home, Titusville, right outside of Birmingham, would come to mind. And getting back to the music situation, my grandmother, she used to like to go to prayer meetings on Thursday evening. And she didn't like to go by herself because by the time the prayer meeting was over, it was dark, and she didn't like walking home in the dark by herself. So she would like to get me or one of my brothers, one of my two brothers, to go with her so they could walk her back home. My brothers got hip to that, and they made themselves scarce right about the time that she would be leaving. So I was the one that always kind of got stuck going with her, which to me I think is a blessing and a good, because it's probably the reason I'm sitting here now. When I would walk her to the church, and I would hear, it would be the elderly women of the church, and they would be singing prayers and praises, where one of the women would sing a line, and then the rest of the congregation would answer back, and they were, like I say, singing prayers and praises, and they were connecting with their God, and so it was really powerful music. And sitting outside in the dark listening to that music really got in my soul, and I think that's how I fell in love with this music. Because even though they were doing the subject matter was religious, it was very it was like sacred, but the sound to me was pure blues, and I believe that's where I believe that's why I'm here today. Now I've told that story so many times I start to wonder, did that really happen? And so I made up this song to kind of keep that memory sharp in my mind and heart. So here's a little bit of prayers and praises. Thank you. All right, thank you. So that was a little Thursday night prayer meeting with maybe a little bit of Sunday morning snuck in there. So, yeah, thank you. All right. Well, now that I've made some friends, I guess it's time to make some enemies. Yeah. No, I'm just joking. But so that kind of tells a story of a positive experience with the church, but not all my experiences, or not all the experiences that I heard about growing up with the church were positive. Some of them were not positive. I know my mother told a story. So this is to introduce a song that I didn't make myself, but I like the song, and whenever I play it, it reminds me of this story that my mother told us about how when she was a child, about maybe 12 years old, living in Titusville, the WPA came through, and they were teaching young girls, office skills, shorthand and all that kind of stuff, typing. And my mother, at 12, really excelled at that. And so, she would told me, of course, my grandmother was really proud of her, how well she did and all. And one day the preacher was at my grandmother's house, and my grandmother was bragging on my mother about how good she was at typing and shorthand and all those office skills. And the preacher said, well, she should not neglect her church duties. She should spend some time in the church office. And so my grandmother, sent my mother to the church office to put in some time to do some work for the church. And as soon as she was alone in the room with the preacher, he asked her if he could be her boyfriend. And she bolted out of there and ran home. And she told my grandmother what happened, and my grandmother said, well, two things, doll. She said, that's what my mother's nickname was, Doll. She said two things. One is that you must never be in a room alone with that preacher again. And the second thing is you must never tell your brother Wilson what the preacher said, because Brother Wilson comes up in a song later on, and you'll see why it's not a good idea for him to. He was known for getting things straight. So, but anyway, so his song is called Jimmy Bell. Like I say, I didn't write it, but it reminds me of that story that I just told you, so I like to do it. Actually, it was written by a man who called himself Scrap Iron, and was recorded by John and Alan Lomax in a penitentiary, either in Texas or Mississippi. A lot of the songs that they recorded in penitentiaries, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on too. But this is a song by this guy, Scrap Iron. It's called Jimmy Bells. Well, Jimmy Bell's in town, and he's walking round. He got enough baby, make a man a suit. Make a man a suit. Make a man a suit. He got enough greenback dollars, sweet baby, make a man a suit. Well, Jimmy Bell told his sister, on your knees not to shout. He said, if you don't pay that money fee, I'm gonna turn you out. I'm gonna turn you out. He said, if you don't pay that money fee, I'm gonna turn you out. Well, Jimmy Bell in the pulpit, the Bible in his hand, he said, oh. Jimmy Bell in the pulpit, the Bible in his hand. Well, all the sisters sitting back in the amen corner. Jimmy Bell's my man. Said Jimmy Bell's my man. Said Jimmy Bell's my man. Well, all the sisters sitting back in the corner, crying, Jimmy Bell's my man. Jimmy Bell told the sexton, said, go and tone the bell. He said, 'cause some of these old members here will sure is going to hell. Said, sure is going to hell. He said, 'cause some of these old members here sure is going to hell. Jimmy Bell told his wife, he told her late at night, he said, if times don't get no better here, babe, up the road I'm going. Up the road I'm going. Up the road I'm going. He said, if times don't get no better here, babe, up the road I'm going. 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 All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. So now I'd like to call my good friend and bandmate, Matt Kelley, who is a member of the Chesapeake Sheiks. And yeah, I'd like to invite him to come out. And Matt is a Baltimorean.
Hi.
Thank you. That was strutting with some barbecue. So, now understand, so some people say Louis Armstrong wrote that song. It's very often credited to Lil Armstrong. And then some people say that Lil actually got credit for that song in a divorce settlement. So, but anyway, Roberta, and that's not correct, you know.
All right.
So in this one, it's we normally do it in the six-piece band, and the rules are everybody in the band sings. So if you feel so inclined, please join in on the chorus.
Roberta, where are you? Can't you hear me call? Well, I'm 1,000 miles away from home with my back against the wall. Well, I reached for you in the dark last night. My eyes were open wide. I couldn't see you, I couldn't feel you. You know, I broke right down and cried, and I cried, come on, Roberta, where are you? Can't you hear me call? Well, I'm 1,000 miles away from home with my back against the wall. Well, last night I dreamed I heard you calling my name. Your voice was music to my ear. Well, I woke up this morning in a dirty old flea bag hotel room, and I was drowning in my tears, and I was crying, Roberta, where are you? Can't you hear me call? Well, I'm 1,000 miles away from home with my back against the wall. Let me call one time. search these streets for a friendly face. I stopped in every dive bar in this town. Well, it's a low-down shame and a dirty disgrace, the way the people been turning me down. And I'm crying, Roberta, that's right, where are you? Can't you hear me call? Well, I'm 1,000 miles away from home with my back against the wall. Come on, man. Well, one of these lonesome days, I guess I'll make it back home again. Meanwhile, each and every night I pray for an angel of mercy to save a sinking man. And I'm crying, Roberta, where are you? Can't you hear me call? Well, I'm 1,000 miles away from home with my back against the wall. Well, with my back against the wall. Let's go on home, man. With my back against the wall. All right, thank you. All right, mermaids. All right, thank you so much. All right. We're going to do one right now, if I can find the correct harmonica. Let me see here. I just not too long ago, had cataracts, and then I got them fixed. And back then I had an excuse for not getting them. Cool. So here's a song by one of my favorite singer-songwriters. All right. Wish Ian was here.
All right, man.
This song was written by Mississippi John Hurt. Now, Mississippi John Hurt was probably one of the best known of what they called the Piedmont style guitar players, and I don't know if y'all know what that means. It's something that some ethnomusicologists made up a while ago to get some credibility and keep himself employed or herself. And so I made up this phrase, Piedmont style blues, which is basically like a finger style, which Matt Kelley really excels at. But as you can tell from Mississippi John Hurt's name, he is not from the Piedmont region. So it's right, and and I guess it's just a way to categorize it. But like I say, he's one of my favorite. He wrote some beautiful songs. My partner John Cephas was also known as a Piedmont style player, and there were a bunch of them: John Cephas, John Jackson, Archie Edwards, Reverend Gary Davis, and the interesting thing for me is that here recently, in the past couple of years, they stopped calling them Piedmont style players and started calling them songsters. And I'm like, well, why did the name change? It's not like they're doing anything different these days, considering that they all passed away quite a while ago. So, but anyway, that's enough ragging on musicologists for now. I might get back to it later. Anyway, check out this Piedmont style. Blues all on the ocean, blues all in the sea. Can't stay here no longer, I have no steamship fare. When my earthly trials are over, cast my body out in the sea. Save all the undertaker's bills and let the mermaids flirt with me. I do not work for pleasure, earthly peace I'll see no more. The only reason I work at all is drive the wolf from my door. When my earthly trials are over, cast my body out in the sea. Save all the undertaker's bills and let the mermaids flirt with me. My wife controls our happy home, a sweetheart I cannot find. The only thing that I can call my own is worried and a weary mind. When my earthly trials are over, cast my body out in the sea. Save all the undertaker's bills and let the mermaids flirt with me. Blues all in my body. If I ever see her face again, I have to swim across the sea. When my earthly trials are over, save all the undertaker's bill. Blues all in my body. My sweetheart has forsaken me. If I ever see her face again, I have to swim across the sea. When my earthly trials are over, cast my body out in the sea. Save all the undertaker's bills and let the mermaids flirt with me. Play it again now. Isn't that pretty? All right, that's Matt Kelley.
I would have used to turn it off, but it was in the same key as the song.
That was good. And I put it on Do Not Disturb, or at least I thought I did. Anyway, is this your cup or mine? That's mine. Okay, so here's another song I made. Again, I must find the right key. So this is one I made up too. It's called No Fools, No Fun. Now this song, you know, as I mentioned before, my family roots are in Titusville, Alabama, but my mother and father resettled in Washington, D.C. to, you know, to have a better life. They were part of that great migration of African Americans. It's probably the largest land migration in the history of migrations, and also the least documented. And you know, a lot of people, you know, moved from the deep South and moved to you know, northern cities in search of you know, better life, you know, better opportunities, better education, all that. And so that's what my parents did. They came from Titusville to Washington, D.C. And when I was growing up in D.C., I was like, you know, like all the kids in my neighborhood were, you know, firstborn, you know, first generation above the Mason-Dixon line, and all the parents were from somewhere in deep South, you know, Alabama, Georgia, you know, South Carolina, North Carolina, like that. And my parents were the same. And so all those folks, when they moved to these northern cities, they moved to places like Washington, D.C. They brought their, you know, their foodways and their traditions and their celebrations. They brought all that with them, you know. And so for me, growing up in Washington was like living in just a big old southern town, because that's what my neighborhood was like. And I remember very well that they used to have great celebrations, you know, like 4th of July, you know, Decoration Day. They would, they would have house parties that would turn into block parties. You know, everybody, you know, like one house would be having a party, and then the next house would join in, and everybody would be, you know, sharing what they had, you know, passing, you know, potato salad over the fence this way, passing cornbread that way, passing the greens, and everybody, you know, competing to see who made the best barbecue and all that. And you know, they just have a wonderful time. And until that one person would show up, if you know, if you know what I mean, that one auntie or that one second cousin twice removed, or so that was just not satisfied until they went around and picked at everybody in the party to stir up some trouble. And that person, they knew everybody's weak point, and you know, they'd pick and pick and pick. And before you know it, somebody's feelings would get hurt. You know, somebody would be crying, somebody would be shouting, and then before you know it, they'd be fighting. And somebody's eye would get black, and somebody's nose would get bloodied, and they'd be, you know, just fighting from the front to the back and knocking over furniture, and chairs getting busted, glasses breaking, people screaming, and they'd fight until they wore each other out, wore themselves out, and then they'd kind of settle down, and you know, the police would come and take away the bad people, and ambulances would come and take away the injured people, and everything would get back down to normal. And at that point, when everything was back down to, you know, let the party go on, my mother would always look at my father and laugh and say, well, you know what they say, no fools, no fun. And that's why I made this song. We were having Saturday afternoon, barbecue in my backyard. We were boozing and bluesing and pitching horseshoes. Some of them were playing cards. Well, I was just about to double check to see if my barbecue ribs were done when I heard a little voice in the back of my head, and it said, "No fools, no fun. No fools, no fun." Well, my ribs were just about done when I heard a little voice in the back of my head, and it said, "No fools, no fun." Well, Curtis had lost in horseshoes. He was losing in a game of bid whist. So he started up with the dozens, and he ended up swinging his fist. Well, when my Uncle Wilson pulled his pistol, you should have seen that joker run. Everybody cheered, and when smoke cleared, somebody shouted, "No fools, no fun. No fools, no fun." You should have seen that joker run. Everybody cheered, and when the smoke cleared, somebody shouted, "No fools, no fun." Do it again. Smokey Joe and Slow Gin John having themselves a race. They wanted to find out which one of them could drink up all the whiskey in the place. Well, Joseph fell on his backside. Don't you know that John fell on his face? And that old hypocrite Deacon Dunn got mad and declared it was a damn disgrace. But he's nothing but an angry old hypocrite, that son of a Deacon Dunn. Well, somebody needs to snatch his collar and tell him, "Hey, no fools, no fun. No fools, no fun." That old hypocrite Deacon Dunn. Well, somebody needs to pull his coat and say, "Hey man, no fools, no fun." Well, only a couple of folk got ugly. Only one of them lost some blood. Yolanda threw her knee out, ow, trying to dance the jitterbug. Well, Pete split the seat of his britches out there buck dancing in the sun and singing some crazy made-up song that he called "No Fools, No Fun." No fools, no fun. He was buck dancing in the sun and singing some crazy made-up song that he called "No Fools, No Fun." No fools, no fun. Well, I guess there was no harm done. Everybody snatch somebody's wig and holler, "No fools, no fun. No fools, no fun." All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're gonna go take a break so I can catch my breath and have a little libation, and I hope you do the same. We do have a little bit of product. We have a few CDs, very few, and we have a few books that a friend of mine, Frank Mathias, and I, we collaborated on this book. Basically, I told the story and he wrote it down. Funny thing about that book, it was published on the day before the shutdown, the COVID shutdown. So now we're just now getting back to, doing some of the book signings and things that we had planned to do back then. But anyway, so that's there too if you're interested. So thank you so much. We'll be back. Yeah. Yes. Good, very good. Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Cool. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. And how's the Blues Society going?
We're not doing well. We just celebrated our 35th year last year. We got to get you over there for our picnic. Picnic every year. We just had the Marshall Edwards barbershop people.
Oh yeah.
This year. Maybe we can get you next year.
I'd be glad to do that. Yeah.
Do you have a card?
I don't have a card on. No, I don't have a card.
We're on Facebook.
Yes. Yes.
Reach out to you on Facebook.
Okay. While I'm sat back here breaking on, we can make sure. But I know I don't have a card on me. Yeah. But I would love to do that. Let's keep in touch. What was the guy's name years ago? That was the head of the Baltimore Blues Society. Dale Patton. Yeah. Man, I love you guys because you had so much fun, so much joy in your there's always a celebration. The Baltimore Blues Society was always a good time. DC they took themselves too seriously.
DC was founded by musicians.
Yes.
Like Piedmont musicians.
Yes.
Whereas Baltimore Blues Society was founded by blues fans.
Blues fan. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's like the big difference.
Yeah.
It's a different body.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you guys are serious. I mean, you guys are trying to preserve
That's right.
the art form.
That's right. That's right.
We were partying.
Yeah.
All right, take it
All right.
easy.
Oh, great to see you. Yeah. Good. All right. Very good. How are you? Thank you. Thank you so much.
What's the difference between the 12 harmonicas?
Oh, they're all different keys.
So in other words, I've heard that bagpipes are only F sharp.
Hello, Music on the Square, folks. Is everybody having a good time out there tonight? You know, it's so nice to see people back here at Church on the Square. The last concert we had was May of this year with Brooks Long, so it's been a number of months, so it's great to see faces in this beautiful space. I mean, isn't this space just a great place to hear music? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can applaud for this space. Yeah. Speaking of applauses, I'd like to thank all the folks who are volunteering here tonight to make this experience what it is. We've got Vina up there running live stream. Joe is working the bar. Kathy and Roger were helping out with a door. And we had Amy also doing the door. Melissa and Claire helping, showing up and setting up chairs. An event like this doesn't happen without a lot of folks. So if you want to join the team, send me a message or sign up on our emails or just get in touch with us, and we'd love to have you be a part of the Music on the Square team. And speaking of Music on the Square, I hope we'll see you back for next month, November 11th. The band is called Larry and Joe, or Larry y Joe, and Larry is from Venezuela, well-versed in the traditional music of Venezuela, an amazing harpist, maraca player, and plays the cuatro. And Joe Troop plays the banjo and fiddle. A quote is they're making a new Southern brew of great music. It's bilingual music, so tell all your friends, come on back. It's super unique. I heard them this summer at a festival in a totally acoustic space, very similar to this, but except it was outside, but still very acoustic. And I cried. I was totally amazed. So I can't recommend it enough. So if you haven't done so, pick up a flyer and please sign up on our email list. And if you want to give more to the series, that's always welcome, and we appreciate it. And I am done. Before I'm done yakking, as Phil mentioned, you can pick up one of these books I just did and take it home with you, and Phil will sign it. And I see you all got the CDs, so you're a great audience for supporting that way. But consider taking home a book as well. And we will see you next time. I'm done talking. Please make this legend welcome again, Phil Wiggins.
I do. Thanks. Okay. I'm gonna start out by myself again. I apologize for that. You know, it's been an interesting journey. I don't when I mentioned John before, it didn't seem like very many people know him or have heard of John Cephas. So yeah. So we played together for about 35 years, and he passed away in 2009, and got myself into all kinds of crazy musical predicaments since then, including one of my favorite with the Chesapeake Sheiks, which Matt plays guitar in that band. That band includes piano, acoustic guitar, acoustic bass, harmonica, violin, and we have a tap dancer instead of a drummer. And yeah, it's great. It's a guy. He's from Maryland, Bakari Wilder. He's a brilliant tap dancer. And, the Sheiks. We had a conversation about that, and somebody said, it takes a really good drummer to be better than no drummer. So I think that's true. Anyway, so made this song. It's called Ebo Landing. Has anyone ever heard of Ebo Landing? It's a place in South Carolina. I actually visited there myself. You familiar with the Georgia Sea Island people? The Georgia Sea Island singers, Georgia Sea Island people is a bunch of African Americans that that lived off the coast of South Carolina and Georgia, and that were pretty isolated, and so their culture retained a lot of the African attributes to it. And this place, Ebo Landing, back during the slave trade, when they were going across the Atlantic, kidnapping Africans and bringing them to North America, and forcing them to work for no compensation. One of those ships had come across and was off the coast of St. Solomon Island, I believe it was, and they unloaded a bunch of the African folks, and they put them on a smaller boat, and they rowed them up this Dunbar Creek. And when those Africans saw, the market where they were, selling people, they decided that rather than to face that fate themselves, they would jump overboard and take their chances. And because they were all chained together, and the chains weighed them down, and they drowned. And so they named that place that happened. They named it Ebo Landing. So that's mainly what the song is about. The second verse of the song is kind of about like after emancipation, when the plantation owners and the rock quarry and the copper mine owners and all that wanted to continue to get the African people's labor for free, they instituted some laws they called the Black Codes, or the Jim Crow laws, that where they could arrest a person for vagrancy or whatever, for being out in public without money in your pocket, without a piece of paper that says that you're gainfully employed by so-and-so. They could arrest you and throw you in jail and charge a fine, and then somebody from cotton plantation or whatever would come and quote unquote pay your fine and take you back and basically would work you to death. What my understanding of that system was that it was worse than chattel slavery, because the investment was so little that they didn't really care if a person survived, because they would just go and get another person. And the third verse is just me, some stuff that I heard my uncles talk about. They grew up in Titusville, and they often would talk about different experiences that happened, and it kind of made it clear to me that Titusville, for a person of African descent, was a pretty dangerous place to grow up, and especially to be a child and to do the things that children do, and make mistakes and get in trouble, and that it was kind of dangerous. And but the funny thing is, a lot of the stuff that they spoke about was, the experiences were really terrible, but they always spoke about those experiences with a sense of humor and with a sense of, moving forward, you know, like that they didn't carry a lot of bitterness and a lot of anger. They just made the best of it. And so anyway, here's a little bit of Ebo Landing. See if I can get the right key. There wasn't no beacon of hope and freedom, no promise of the American dream. Well, there wasn't even any Ellis Island. What greeted those people made them moan and weep. What greeted those people made them moan and weep. As they rowed that boat into Ebo Landing, saw so many Africans chained and bound. Well, that sight inspired some of my forefathers to jump into the Dunbar Creek and drown. To jump into the Dunbar Creek and drown. Well, now you say you want your country back, to make the greatest nation great again. Well, I've heard that there have been some good old days, but I don't know where nor remember when. Well, I don't know where nor remember when. Well, there wasn't no sheriff like the one in Mayberry. Shut down the jail on Thanksgiving Day. If they caught you on the road without money and papers, I'm here to tell you, partner, there was hell to pay. Well, I'm here to tell you, partner, there was hell to pay. They would detain you, and they'd fine you, and they'd throw you in jail. And when you couldn't pay that money fee, well, they would ship you down to Lee County, Alabama, and make you go to work in the lime quarry. Well, they would make you go to work in the lime quarry. Well, now you say you want your country back, to make the greatest nation great again. Well, I've heard that there have been some good old days, but I don't know where nor remember when. Well, I don't know where nor remember when. Well, my uncles got themselves a brand new bicycle from working at Mr. Fortune's store. Well, it was meant to be used to deliver groceries all around Titusville from door to door. Well, they took that bicycle out on a spree. They were having fun as children will. Well, then the sheriff caught 'em, and he pistol whipped 'em, and he left 'em lying bloodied on Dynamite Hill. Well, the sheriff caught 'em, and he pistol whipped 'em, and he left 'em lying bloodied on Dynamite Hill. Well, now you say you want your country back to make the greatest nation great again. Well, I've heard that there have been some good old days, but I don't know where nor remember when. Well, I don't know where nor remember when. I said I don't know where nor remember when. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yep, that's, a lot of times when I'm playing with the Sheiks or with my other band, House Party, I'll say, I made this song, and most of what happens in this song is true. But in that song, I have to say everything that happened is true. So on that same subject, there's another song. I mentioned John and Alan Lomax, and another song that I discovered from their recordings is a song called Diamond Joe. It was written by a man named Charles Butler, who they actually recorded him doing that same song twice in two different penitentiaries, 7 years apart. And the song is Diamond Joe. And if you ever get a chance to hear his version of it, I recommend it. His voice is so beautiful. And anyway, I decided to make a stab at it. Diamond Joe. And it's, like I say, a lot of the people that wound up in those in the penitentiaries and work farms, they didn't really do anything wrong. The folks just wanted their labor for free, and so they threw them in the work farm and worked them. And in this Diamond Joe, the reference to Diamond Joe was if you were fortunate enough to survive that system and do your time and to get away from there, the train that would come and get you, it had a diamond-shaped lantern on the front, and so they called it Diamond Joe, and that's what the song is about. Ain't gonna work in the country, neither on Partridge Farm. I'm gonna wait till my Maybelle comes. She gonna call me Tom. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe. I'm going up on the mountain, give my horn a blow. I thought I heard my Maybelle call. She gonna call me home. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe. You can sing along if you want. I ain't gonna tell you no story, neither a word of lie. I thought I heard my Maybelle call, or didn't she pass on by? Come on. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe. Well, my pants is torn and I got no patches. Diamond Joe, you better come at me. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe. Well, I'm down here and I can't get home. Diamond Joe, you better come on. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe. Come on, one more time. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe. One more time. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond Joe. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I'd like to call my friend Matt Kelley. All right. All right, so how's everybody doing? Well, thank you. And I like just, I'm making it, just barely making it. No, that's not true. I'm doing great. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so glad to be, getting out and playing. The funny thing that happened, I forget what year that was, but it's probably close to 3 years ago now, and my calendar was filling up really nicely, and I was getting all these calls, and then the COVID thing happened, and just like boom, boom, boom. I just sat there and watched all those nice gigs and things disappear. And also we had the book that we have on sale. It came out the day before or the day after, but right in there of the shutdown. And we had all these book signings and things planned. Again, she's gone. And so now we're just getting back to that. And so it feels good to be getting out and getting to play live in front of people like you, and appreciate that you come out and make it possible for us to do what we love to do. One, two. I'm going to German. I'll be back some old day. I'm going to German. I'll be back some old day. I'm going to German. I'll be back some old day. Please tell me, Mama, what more can I do? Please tell me, Mama, what more can I do? Done all I know to, can't get along with you. Go away from my window, quit knocking on my door. Go away from my window, quit knocking on my door. I got another woman, I don't want you no more. When you was in trouble, I worked and paid your fine. When you was in trouble, I worked and paid your fine. Now I'm in trouble, you don't pay me no mind. Here we go. When you was in trouble, I worked and paid your fine. When you was in trouble, I worked and paid your fine. Now I'm in trouble, you don't pay me no mind. Come on. I'll be back some old day, I'm going to German. I'll be back some old day, I'm going to German. I'll be back some old day. One more time. I'm going to German. I'll be back some old day. I'm going to German. I'll be back some old day. I'm going to German. I'll be back some old day. Thank you. Let's do Buddy. All right, thank you. All right. Y'all are making my night. Okay, so, I know what I'm looking for. I think I know what I'm looking for. Sorry about that. Oops. All right. I have a friend, Lightning Wells. We were doing a gig together one time, and what was he doing? He was trying to tune up his guitar. It was taking forever. And I was like, I don't see why they call you Lightning. He said, that's why they call me Lightning. Because he has a bunch of sarcastic friends. Does that seem about right? Well, I took him to my house. I laid him, sat him down at my table. I fed him all the food I was able. He ate my chicken and he drank up all my tea. Now he's trying to steal my true love from me. Well, do you call that a buddy? No, no, I said, do you call that a buddy? No, no, I believe I'll decapitate my buddy. Yes, yes, he's just a dirty cat. Well, he smiles in my face, but he's not my friend. That's just his jive to drink up all my gin. And when he gets good and high and on the Zoom, well, he tells my true love to meet him at the Dirty Spoon. Well, do you call that a buddy? No, no. I said, can that possibly be my buddy? No, no, I believe I'll defenestrate my buddy. Yes, yes, he's just a dirty cat. I found a red flannel sack hidden under my bunk. I looked inside it, man, I found a gang of junk. I did. I found roots, bones, and bottles, and a little brass key. I believe to my soul he's trying to hoodoo me. Well, do you call that a buddy? No, no, do you call that your buddy? No, I believe I'll exsanguinate my buddy. That's my favorite. He's just a dirty cat. Let's do the intro. Used to be. Yeah. Let me start at the beginning. Used to be, if I had 50 cents, I would loan him a dime because I believed to my heart he was a friend of mine. But now, if I had 100 donuts, bless his soul, I wouldn't give that joker not one single donut hole. Do you call that a buddy? No, no. I said, do you call that your buddy? No, no. I believe I'll eviscerate my buddy. Yes, yes. 'Cause he's just a dirty cat. There's water? You want to try that? All right. Whew. This is another song I made. It used to be called Please May I Have This Dance. But I have another song that has that phrase in it, and so I decided to change the name of this song to Feijoada, because it, oh, come on. I'm never going to find that one. There it is. What's Feijoada? Feijoada is the national dish of Brazil. And the song sort of, to me, has a Brazilian feel to it. And so I decided I would name the song. I got to travel in Brazil a while back, and it was wonderful. I'd always wanted to go because there's such a rich culture, and especially such an amazing variety of music in Brazil. And so I was so glad to be there. And man, when I discovered that feijoada, I couldn't wait to get back home and make it myself, which I did, which Judy wasn't that happy about, but it was a great food adventure. Okay, see if I remember how this goes. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Let me. Okay.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. So, what do you think? You think Alex could do Anacostia?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, we'd like to invite our friend who invited me to this occasion. Probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my friend, my friend Alex. And Alex is a harmonica player. And I'd like to invite him to come and play one with us.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, did you set you up? Yes. Oh, perfect. So this one, it's a 12 bar. Whew. Are you having fun? Well, I'm having fun. And I can kind of tell Matt's having fun.
Do you drink?
I do, actually. So, is that...
Soda water.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
I see that there are 8 books back there, and I definitely see more than 8 people here. So
Thank you.
hope you all take one of those home.
Okay, so this is a 12 bar, and it's kind of a... I
Right.
don't know how to explain it, but you'll catch it real quick.
I hope.
It's kind of fast.
Okay.
And I'd like to invite you all to dance. I can't believe that I haven't mentioned that before now. I came to a point in my life where I realized that probably every note of music I've ever played is dance music, and it hardly ever is presented as such. And usually I do remember to encourage people to dance if they feel like it. So, and actually there's a lot of room around here for that if you... One, two.
having me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Alex. All right. So what do you want to do? You want to do one more, or you want to just call it one out? All right. Stop and listen. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming out. I'd like to thank Alex. I'd like to thank my good friend Matt. And thanks for giving us an excuse to come to Baltimore. Yeah. I love Baltimore. Back in the 1980s and all, I used to think about moving to Baltimore, and I never got around to it, but I like it here. Well, today has been a long, old, lonesome day. Why don't you, hear me cry, pretty mama? Today has been a long, old, lonesome day. Well, it seems like my rider would feel the same old way. Well, don't that hearse look lonesome when it's rolling for your door? Oh, cry, pretty mama. That hearse looks so lonesome when it's rolling for your door. Well, it's taking the woman that I love, and she can't come back no more. Smokestack lightning, bells shine like, well, don't you hear me cry, pretty mama? Smokestack lightning, bells shine just like gold. Well, I found my sweet rider, she was laying on that cooling board. Listen to the church bell. Well, don't you, oh, hear me cry, pretty mama. Stop and listen to that church bell tone. I had a sweet little pharaoh. Now the poor girl is dead and gone. I went down to the graveside and I looked down on her face. Oh, don't you, oh, hear me cry, pretty mama. I went down to the graveside and I looked down on her face. This is what I told her, man. Said, I can feel your condition, darling, but I sure can't take your place. Let's go. All right. Matt Kelley. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I look forward to the next time. Thank you. Okay.